This episode of Steve's Outdoor Adventures was brought to you by the Adventure Armory. Rifle, scope, and ammo packages for hunters. This segment of Steve's Outdoor Adventures is sponsored by Ochicos.com. Last week you saw Travis Price from our office hunting mule deer on a private ranch in southwest Wyoming. He took a great buck, but more importantly, he got firsthand experience of what the ranch and lodge are like, who the guides are, and how good the hunting really is on that property. And this is a critical part to his job as a hunting consultant here in our office. We have to be able to properly tell our clients what they can expect and make sure that we put them on hunts that fit their needs. So firsthand knowledge of these operations is critical to Travis's work with our company. And so this week, his education continues. The day after his hunt in Wyoming came to an end, he packed up the truck and drove back across the border into Utah and down to a ranch where we book our clients each year. This property is enrolled in the CWMU program. This is a special designation that means our clients get to hunt for bugling bulls during the peak of the rut, in late September, or in this case, early October, with a rifle. As soon as Travis arrived at the camp, he set up and shot his rifle to check the zero. Travis is shooting a Bergara B14 series rifle, chambered in .300 Winchester Magnum, and the gun is topped with the Burris Eliminator 3 laser scope. The gun is shooting Pendleton ammunition custom loads and performing well inside sub-MOA accuracy. And after a few shots, he's ready to head out into the scenic, aspen-covered mountains of Utah.
Super excited. I just can't believe how beautiful it is here. The sun's rising, moon's going down, the aspens, man, it's crazy awesome here. I'm so excited.
The hunt started really fast. My guide Derek had been scouting and knew exactly where we should begin my hunt. And right off the bat, we could hear the distant bugles, and we closed the distance.
We're gonna ease up here because it's gonna start opening up a little bit once you get here, so we're just gonna go really slow because they're heading up.
The setup at the pond was perfect. We were surrounded by bugling bulls, and it seemed like any second, one would show up. But we quickly realized that they had already watered and were heading toward their bedding areas. So we kept the wind in our favor and followed them, hoping to get one of the bulls to come back and give us a look. After a while, we realized that the elk were in their bedding area. And we didn't want to risk bumping them. So we backed out and made a plan for the afternoon hunt.
That's elk hunt. It's fine. Lots of action right away. We were surrounded by elk. 3 or 4 bulls right away, so really awesome. Yeah, so it's blowing down like that, and that's a good thing. We'll probably wait here until he calls again. Okay, so now we know that they're up there, the wind's blowing down, so we're just gonna keep real slow. We're just gonna go like that real slow and see if we can get in on. Go. Literally, there's bulls bugling in every direction right now. Here behind us. It's kind of been like that all morning, so action-packed. So we're kind of making our way back to the ranger for the morning hunt to go back, and lots of nice deer in here as well as elk, so very unique area, lots of animals. Very exciting morning.
This segment of Steve's Outdoor Adventures has been sponsored by Bergara Rifles, a passion for precision, every barrel, every rifle. This segment of Steve's Outdoor Adventures has been sponsored by Burris Optics. Find what matters. Because Travis and Derek wisely backed out and let the elk bed down for the day, they're likely to find these elk in the same place for their return during the evening hunt. And Travis is hoping to get a look at the herd bull.
We're gonna head back in where we were this morning, where we were getting into the bulls and lots of bugles. We're gonna head back in there, set up on some water for a little bit, and then kind of walk around and see what we can find and get back into them.
It turns out the elk had gotten up early and were feeding. We could see them filtering through the aspen trees. We could hear the bulls bugling in the distance, and I was getting excited. And then I felt the wind start to swirl, and I knew it was just a matter of time before they blew out. We decided to leave those elk alone and let them go. We could hear more bugles ahead, so we pressed on. The wind got stronger and stronger, and we kept moving towards the bugles. And while we found some elk, there were only spikes.
That close to elk. Fool their ears and their eyes and their nose, and it was blowing perfect. They had no idea. They knew something was up, but they had no idea. Maybe 100 yards from us, and they still don't know what's going on. They just needed bigger orders. That's it. That's all it was.
Right before dark, we tried one more setup. But we ran out of daylight. And as we backed out of there, I was already looking forward to tomorrow.
This ranch sits in the heart of some of Utah's best elk hunting. A few years ago, I'd come during the first week of October on my own hunt. I like the end of the season. when all of our clients are tagged out and I'm not competing with them for the animals. And the rut is always in full swing by early October. We called in a bunch of bulls and had some phenomenal action. And on the last night of my hunt, it all came together. Over the years, our clients have taken some great bulls on this ranch. And I know that it's just a matter of time before Travis gets a shot. This segment of Steve's Outdoor Adventures has been sponsored by Marathon Seat Covers. We've got you covered. This segment of Steve's Outdoor Adventures has been sponsored by Pendleton Ammunition. Loading bullets, one round at a time.
Back in this morning, we're a little earlier, which is good. It's not quite shooting light yet. We're gonna head back in where we were yesterday. Yesterday morning, we got amongst the bugling bulls and all the elk, and so pretty excited to get back in there and see if we can get something done today.
Our morning hunt that second day was uneventful. The wind was howling, and we couldn't hear the bugles or locate any elk in the aspens. So that evening, we decided to take the UTV to the top of the mountain and glass a large area to try and locate elk. If we couldn't hear them, this was our only option. This area was perfect for glassing, and I could see a lot of open hillsides and pockets that were out of the wind. And sure enough, just before dark, we spotted a bull working his way through some brush and then spotted a herd of elk feeding in some open timber. And we moved in for a closer look. Sure enough, there was a bull, but he was only a 5x5. We had the drop on them, and he would have been an easy shot. But Utah is known for big bulls, and I have made my mind up to hold out for a 6x6.
Was pretty nice for a 5. He was, super wide, fairly heavy. His back forks were decent. Thirds were a little short, but he's like so borderline.
Yeah, he's borderline right now. I understand.
Yeah,
but
that's
tough.
Good. Yeah, it was tough to pass, but we'll see if we can't hold out for something a little bigger.
Yeah, and that was cool. We snuck right in on him.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Less than 130. We had about 132 yards. Didn't even know where there were the cows. Yeah. Set back out. Didn't even know where there. That a lot of people can do that. So it's pretty fun.
Cool.
That was
good
awesome.
Experience. Thank you.
Good job.
All in all, my second day of hunting was pretty uneventful. Sure, I had passed up a small bull, but the windy conditions all day made it impossible to hear the bugles and take advantage of the rut. And elk activity had been slow in general. The wind was blowing in a cold front, and snow was in the forecast, so we had high expectations for tomorrow.
This segment of Steve's Outdoor Adventures is sponsored by muzzleloaders.com, carrying the full line of CVA muzzleloaders. This segment is sponsored by Adventure Armory, rifle, scope, and ammunition packages shipped, ready to shoot. When it snows, one of two things will happen. Either the elk will go crazy and the hunting will be unbelievable, or they will shut down and get in the thick cover and be impossible to hunt. You just don't know until you get out there.
So we woke up to a change in the weather this morning. It's significantly colder and woke up to a skift of snow. It snowed last night a little bit, so hopefully that gets the elk moving a little more as well. So we're in a new area today. Pretty excited to see what we can find. Apparently there's lots of pines and open meadows, so we're gonna take a walk and see what we can find.
We parked the UTV and hiked up a ridge to an area where Derek thought we would find some elk. And sure enough, we heard bulls bugling right away and really close. So I chambered around and we moved up.
There's a bull bugling right across the canyon here. See if we can spot him.
I spotted elk almost immediately across the canyon from us.
Go. We got two different bulls. Bugling back and forth right now. We saw the 5x5, but we're not sure what the other one is.
I got a glimpse of a 5x5 and heard another bull bugling. Then spotted the 6x6. We got set up to take a shot.
We'll see how this plays out, but he's a shooter. It's tough to shoot.
It was only about 400 yards across the canyon, but the sun was directly in my eyes, and the glare in the scope made it impossible to take a shot. We only had one choice. We had to hike to the head of the canyon, then turn and come back down their side, with the sun to our side and under the shade of some trees. And we had to hope they would still be there. It was 30 minutes later when we got to where we could finally see them. And luckily, the elk had stayed there. Most of the cows were bedded and the herd bull was feeding in the open. It was all playing out perfectly. We snuck in and got set up. The sticks made the perfect rest. And I ranged the bull in the eliminator scope at only 239 yards. I put the dot on his vitals and I squeezed the trigger.
He's going right. He's out in the meadow. He's out in the meadow. He went to the right. There's another one. He's going left now. Hold on. Hold on. Okay, if you get another shot, put it in him.
Down.
He's down.
He's still down. Yes. Dude. Nice job.
Yeah, nice job. Dude, what a sneak, huh?
That was awesome.
What a freaking sneak.
That worked out perfect.
Oh.
Good job, Mark. Good job, man.
I felt a huge weight had been lifted from my shoulders. My first 6x6 bull was finally down. I was so happy that the decision to pass on smaller bulls was the right one. And my goal of taking a 6x6 bull elk was finally a reality. When I touched his antlers for the first time, I felt a true connection to the animal and the beautiful land from which he had come.
6x6 bull. Oh man, what an amazing hunt.
So the only thing that could make this hunt and this harvest any sweeter would have been to have my dad present. You know, we hunt elk together and have been for a number of years, and had some amazing adventures, but just have never been able to put it together on a 6x6 elk. And you know, I just wish he was here to be able to witness this, and would like to dedicate this harvest to him. So thanks, Dad.
The camp sits in the aspen grove at the head of a box canyon, a scenic setting for a camp in the heart of Utah's finest elk country. The hunters stay in comfortable cabins and eat under the large covered dining area. This is our elk camp. And if you'd like to book your next guided hunting adventure here or on one of our many other private ranches across the western United States, please give our office a call. We're always willing to take your calls, answer your questions, and help you book the hunting adventure of a lifetime. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for this week's show. But please remember to join us again next week for another exciting episode of Steve's Outdoor Adventures.